So you're seeing states start to respond to it. Governor Ron DeSantis earlier in May signed into law a new immigration bill, which by July is going to require all companies to use E-Verify, which is basically requires you to run your employees through the federal system. If you don't, the fines are extraordinarily large, like I think $10,000 a pop or something like that. It also requires hospitals to take kind of the immigration information from patients who come in, and other ways to tighten the screws around the immigrant population. Here's how some of the local reporting has been unfolding, even before it has gone into actual official effect.
But a new immigration crackdown by the Florida legislature and Governor Ron DeSantis is now making it harder for them to live and work in the state.
And even though the policy is not yet in effect, CBS News Miami's Gabriela Arzola shows us how it has already shaken the undocumented community along with employers they work for.
A recent survey from the Migration Policy Institute says there are around 800,000 undocumented immigrants right here in the state of Florida, many taking jobs like construction and agriculture, but that may not be for long. Around South Florida, labor workers are becoming more and more scarce by the day, according to some employees.
People aren't showing up to work because they're scared of being deported.
And critics say Senate Bill 1718 is to blame.
None of the desk, Mr. Speaker.
According to the bill, businesses could face up to a $10,000 fine per undocumented employee, and the state could revoke their license. For construction workers like Jose, he says half of the workers are already gone.
Many workers are leaving thinking they're going to be deported, so they're going to other states.
And if you notice, that was TikTok. Like, so this is
this is a big thing on TikTok.
It's a local news report that went on a TikTok, and these types of reports have been going viral. And it's creating an impression that might not quite yet be justified by the numbers. But I wanted to play one more, just so people have a sense of what's going around TikTok. Here's one more that's really been making the rounds, if we can roll this side.
Hello, everyone. This is an update. Today is Tuesday, May the 16th. It's not Sunday. There is my truck with grass, and this is a construction site here in Davenport, Florida, 20 miles from Orlando. And this is all you see. It's 9 a.m. Usually at this time there's a lot of people here working, all kind of contractors doing their job, roofers, of course, a lot of noise and loud Mexican music. This is what you hear today. So it is happening. It is not fake. It is not a joke. You see one contractor there. And this is all thanks to Ron DeSantis.
Anecdotal, obviously, but we don't know if it's fully there. That said, it's probably not a surprise. I mean, because this was long predicted. I'm even looking here at Tampa Bay Business Journal. They have a headline that just came out literally yesterday saying immigration law could significantly impact Florida's construction and agriculture industries. Here again, though, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's true. It is true that enforcing the law will have consequences. That doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. It just means like, okay, well, then we need a process through which we can rectify this mismatch in the way that apparently all construction and agriculture operates with under-the-table illegal labor, and we're all just supposed to be cool with that. That just doesn't seem like a good status quo. And look, I'm not saying it doesn't have consequences, but maybe consequences are worth it.
Well, we have people have a couple significant complaints about life in America right now. One is that housing is too expensive.
Very true.
Two is that food is too expensive.
All true.
This policy will drive up the prices of all of those things substantially. I think the big mistake we made came actually, ironically, when we hardened the border and made it much more difficult for seasonal laborers to go back and forth between Mexico and Central America and the United States, because we had this incorrect sense that people who were coming here to work the fields, to work construction jobs and sending money home, didn't want to live in Mexico or El Salvador and Honduras. They really, really wanted to live in the United States. And it's kind of a chauvinistic, almost quaint, cute idea that really our country's so awesome that everybody wants to move here. No, in fact, they wanted to come here. work really, really hard for 4 months, send money back home, relax back at home with their families, do work back there, and then come back, make American money again, send money back home, and keep that going. We did that. That worked for like 100 years or something like that. And then we said, no, you're not doing that anymore. So now all of a sudden, you had all of these migrant laborers who are now trapped north of the wall, north of this hard border. So then they send for their families to come up with them too, and you start then they start building roots here in the country, and so we've always had a system where we don't pay $15 to $30 an hour for fruit pickers. Like that's
but I think
not,
we should. And look, if strawberries cost more, like they cost more. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like I just feel like some of this is almost reverse chauvinism, as in the idea is that strawberries can only be picked by people who aren't from here. It's like, well, wait, why not? I mean, people will do anything for the right wage. It's just that the wage is low.
But we have a system that the second that wages start to rise, our system, our Fed chair, whoever it is, in whatever party,
nuke the economy,
is going to watch them be like, you know what? We have too many people working. We need to push wages back down. So we have built a system in which wages can't go up. And so the only thing you can do is then allow people to do labor arbitrage, where the amount of money that they're making in the field isn't a lot if they're going to live full time in Florida, but it would allow them to actually have a nice life and send enough money back to Guatemala.
No defense here of the Federal Reserve, or I'm more just saying, like, something has got to give. In my opinion, I'd rather the Fed give and not, U.S. immigration law, where you actually effectively have a complete lawless system. And we have no idea how many people are even here in the U.S. illegally. Literally none, because there's no proper census. Right. And then yet somehow we do have a census, and yet they also count whenever it comes to the Electoral College. Somebody go ahead and riddle me, even though they can't vote. Riddle me that one. I still have never exactly gotten my head around that. And I think that generally comes, and look, I hate bringing personal stuff into this, but it cost my parents thousands of dollars to become citizens of this country. It's a pain in the ass to go through the green card process. You can't just waltz into any other country on earth and just say, you know what, I'm staying here. I want to go to work, and and you can't do anything to me. Try doing that in literally anywhere else, and they'll laugh at you and throw you out almost immediately. Do I think we should be above that? Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we have to have such a permissive system as what we have right now. I have nothing but empathy and compassion for people who want to come here. Obviously, everybody on Earth, a lot of people on Earth at least, want to come to the United States. But that also doesn't mean you have a right to do it based on your terms. It's supposed to be a mutually beneficial transaction, not something where it's just up to one person. And I guess the populace itself doesn't get a real vote. And I think that's where some of the, what you referenced earlier, that is where the tougher mindset comes from. You're like, hey, hold on. They're like, this is not fair. And I think that's what's reflected, I think, in the polling, Ryan. Yeah.
But I guess who's going to do these jobs? I mean,
I just see no reason why Americans can. I mean, listen. I mean, if I was younger and came from a different background, and if it was $18 an hour, like maybe I would do it, or maybe a lot of Americans would do it. Like there's no reason why American citizens can't do these jobs. It's just that a lot of them don't want to because it's very cheap.
Then strawberries and orange juice just become luxury items for the super rich.
And I agree that doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, listen, eggs, for example, have not gone up in price since 1970. You want to know why? And it's because of an aggressive government subsidy program. Well, I see no reason why.
Recently, when we had to kill 1 billion birds.
We had crazy egg inflation. We're actually below overall inflation. Fun update for everybody. But overall, in the aggregate, egg prices have not risen for a long period. Why? Because we just decided as a society, we're like, yeah, you know what? We're just not going to charge more for eggs. Yeah. We're like, so I don't know why necessarily can't do the same thing for other products. Although, that's the big government part of me.
Now you're talking. If you want massive government subsidies to lift low-income people up into a middle-class
I've always wanted that. That's all I've ever advocated for on the show.
Works for me.
Okay.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.